people I've played with, the better a player I think I've become. The less is more, and then play for the song and listen for that. Play in the pocket like a drummer would, or like a bass player would. I can't tell you how much I've learned from the great rhythm sections I've played with, and now I'm playing with Mike and Ted, who just have something together that that you just can't. It's amazing. Mike said to me that they were like really the first band, or the first group of people they played with, and they worked so hard. They got that telepathy down, so it's ingrained. It's in their DNA. When they play, it's really something else to hear.
What's Decoy Prayer Meeting? I know that's a band
Decoy
you're
Prayer
involved
Meeting,
with.
yeah, it's a country cover band. I play with Eric Cheel, who's in the Bon Mots, and he plays bass in the Penthouse Suites. And we have Brian Stout, who's an amazing all-around musician, and Greg Schultz, who used to play with Gary Steer. He's on board now, and Jason Stites and Patrick Dornberry, who were the rhythm section with Wes Hollywood for a great many years.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just great fun. And I play piano in that band, and half-assedly, but I got great rhythm on the right hand, and my left hand's useless, but it's great fun. And it's been really amazing to just learn, those songs, a lot of Webb Pierce songs, and then more contemporary stuff like Marshall Crenshaw and Tom Petty, and countrifying them a little bit,
Oh yeah, with Tom Petty.
Remember the country band? We're kind of like a pseudo country band with a little more rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's great fun. Everybody's a great player, and we've been doing that. I've been playing with them for about 3 years now.
With Tom Petty, it's not that really long of a journey to make it countrified. I mean, his stuff always has a little bit of that southern, that Florida edge.
Yeah, well, so does the Beatles. People kind of forget that. There's a lot of the Beatles really love country and western, and they're playing a lot of country and western covers. They're doing a lot of Carl Perkins and Buck Owens.
Yeah.
And the Everlys. Everybody loved the Everlys, and Everly Brothers loved the Louvin Brothers. So I get to learn songs by the Louvin Brothers because Eric and Brian really sing well together. So I'm learning all these great songs, and I just keep learning, get getting humbled by how much I don't know. It's great to share all that with other people and learn from other people.
Oh yeah.
So as long as if you're excited about it and you're learning and you're getting to express yourself and playing with great musicians, then there's nowhere to go but up. Your experience gets better, your timing gets better, your patience gets better.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you heard Material Issue, and why do they mean so much to you today? I mean, why do they still mean so much to you?
Yeah. I remember pretty vividly hearing them the first time, probably in May or June of 1991. First record was being played a great deal. Friends I was hanging with at the time, one of their girlfriends was named Diane, so that song kind of resonated with all of us because it was like Diane's song, you know what I mean? And I was in a group. I was 18 years old, playing in a band, and looking at Material Issue, it was like, wow, they're a three-piece. They're like the Jam, and I love the Jam.
Mm-hmm.
And and they're from here, and it was like they're getting played on the radio. It's before Chicago was known for Survivor and Eyes of March and Buckingham's, and how many times do we have to hear about these bands? I mean, really. And they had the tunes, they were over and out in 3 minutes flat.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they had their shtick, the girls' names and the songs, but it was more than that. But that got people's attention, got my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And second record, some great songs on there, a little glossy for my taste. But then there's the third record, and I remember there was a real love-hate with them for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of after the first year or two, there was kind of a backlash. You know, people I knew who liked him all of a sudden didn't like him anymore, and maybe I didn't as much either. You know, and there was a big, you know, like I don't like Jim Ellison thing going on in this town too at the time.
Yeah. And
I remember then, you know, starting to play out more when I was 20, 21, 22. It's like 94, 95, and then 96. And those guys were around, and we went to see them, and I went to with Dave Young and Frankie O'Malley and some other people. We went to see him at this bar on the corner of Broadway and Belmont, by Clark there. It's called Spin now, but somehow we heard about this like secret show they were doing, and John San Juan was playing with them, and they played in this back room. It was packed. It was really exciting, and they just destroyed it. They slayed the crowd. It was great. And so then I kind of, you know, fell in love with them again. I said, you know, my opinions should be based on something substantial, not other people's opinions. So I was like, you know, they're a hard-working band. Look, these guys are something to aspire to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a love-hate with them. But now, you know, it's anytime I listen to any of the tunes, or, you know, it's not like I listen to it all the time, but anytime I go back to it or get the urge to listen to something by them, it's just really fresh, man. It's honest, and I always hear something new that I didn't hear before, something subtle, you know, whether it be a lyric or Jim's guitar playing, you know.
Oh yeah.
As rudimentary as it might be, it's he had some really great attitude. I took a lot from him in certain things he would do. I find myself doing.
Oh yeah.
You know, just because it might be the right thing to do right here, rather than think too much about just do something really simple here. I just stuff like that. I take a lot from them, and you know, whenever I listen to it, I take a lot from. You know. Oh
yeah. Did you ever have a chance to get to meet Jim Ellison yourself, and what memories do you have of him?
Not really. I never talked to him. I said hi to him once at Flyers Club, I think in '95. You know, if he didn't know you, it seemed to me if he didn't know you, then, you know, he couldn't really be bothered. But if he did know you, then he would, you know, go out of his way to make you feel like a friend of his, you know, from what I know.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But Frankie met him and got to play with him, and Dave Young got to play with him, and they were friends. So yeah, I only was in the same room with him like 3 times, and said hi to him once. And so no, I never knew him. I never got to know him.
Yeah, I was only in the room with him once myself. After Freak City soundtrack came out, and after they got dropped by Mercury, Loyola University, where I went to, actually hired them to play for the end of the year summer bash thing, and they used our activities programming board office as their backstage. And I remember that, you know, Jim was there, and Jim was kind of like, we got to have everybody out of here except us. You know, I need to get in the zone. And at the time, I thought, oh, that's kind of a diva thing to do. But more importantly, I guess, for him to get into accelerated, high-energy performing area, you know, he had to do what he had to do. And now I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, it makes better sense now that I'm older.
Yeah, it's, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I'm sure there was, you know, a bit of ego there, but, you know, it's, everybody does those, get psyched up in different ways, you know, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the human ego is an amazing thing, and he had a big one in a way. It was.
Oh yeah, from all the stories I hear.
It was necessary, though. I mean, you know, like I said earlier, I'm not that ambitious, or I'm not that ambitious anymore. I don't know. That could change, but my ego's not like that. My ego does not have a need to be heard every second of the day. But you know, that's kind of what made them make those great records in that short amount of time. Like, and that drive and that need to play and to be heard, and you know, thank God for that. You know,
the impression.
But at the same time, you know, everyone, you know, unfortunately, as you get older, you lose people, and you lose friends who are, you know, similar to your age, and it's a really strange thing. And sometimes they do, you know, they take their own lives, and it's always true. It's always the last person you would expect.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard that from some friends of mine who were friends with Jim, that they just didn't see it coming. It didn't make any sense. Or, you know, some people knew he was in trouble or he was having a hard time, but they didn't think that he would go in that direction. And some of the guys I've known who've lost their lives, one went that route and one drank himself to death. I don't know, I didn't think that they would do something like that either. It's just surreal. It makes you appreciate life a lot more, and you know, not to take people in your life for granted, and to tell them, you know, you love them as much as you can.
Oh yeah.